We've never had this, I can tell you right now. This is, we've had signers before, but I don't know that I know we hadn't had this much purple in here. So. Harley will be mad because he didn't get this fanfare when he went to TCU. So, first of all, on behalf of the Springtown Athletic Department, welcome to all you folks that are never been back here, and this is a special occasion for a special young man, and I will say, you know, as his head coach, and I can stand up here and talk about his athleticism all day, but the fact that he's signing and going where he's going, I don't think you need to hear much about how fast he runs and, you know, how strong he is. What I will say about Bryson is I've been doing this 24 years, and I've had a lot of them go on to the next level and play. I got one still playing in the NFL. I've had a lot of good athletes, and he's certainly a good athlete, but I don't know that I've ever coached a young man that's overall like that one. And I've told him before, I fussed at Shane, he's 17 years old, so I could have him again next year. But I think those chances have long gone. We probably should have redshirted him a long time ago. So. But I will say, you know, the athlete that he is, the leader that he is, the student that he is, and I see the counselors and the teachers that are here, you know, from our faculty tell you what kind of kid he is. And you know, I've got a young man that's a freshman, and if he can be like that one, I'll be proud. And I'm going to miss him. Now, I sure didn't intend to stand up here and start groveling all over the place, but I love him, and he's going to be close. And I told his mom and dad that, you know, I've got him all over the place, and you don't always get to go as a head coach. You don't get to go and watch him, but he's close, and so I'll get to see him. And so welcome, thank you guys for coming, and this is a special day, and congratulations, Bryson.
First off, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's here. I mean, it's really special to see all these faces here. They've helped me get to where I am today. It'd take forever for me to sit up here and list how each one of you in this room has helped me get to where I am today. And I just want to thank all y'all for sharing this experience with me and just being a part of my life to every single one of y'all. Y'all really are something great, and y'all really have contributed to my success. If y'all would, I ask that y'all bow your heads in prayer. Dear Lord, I thank you for the blessings that you've given me in my life. I thank you for the many great influences you placed in my life to get me where I am today, Lord. I thank you for the wonderful parents that you blessed me with that have helped me get to where I am. Lord, I thank you for the great educators and coaches and friends who've motivated me and kept me on the right path, Lord, the path to success. Lord, I know that everything that I've accomplished, Lord, is nothing that I've done. It's through your will and through the abilities you blessed me with, Lord. I ask that you'll just watch over me these next 4 years as I play at TCU, and I ask that you'll just allow me to walk the narrow path with you, Lord. These things I ask for you. Amen. Thank y'all all for coming. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Never done this before.
All right, take us back to that night when you got the offer from TCU. I remember you calling me pretty late at night, pretty excited. Talk about how the events went down that night.
I remember we had just attended a camp for Texas State, and when I got out of the camp, I had 2 missed phone calls on my phone. And I looked and I saw Coach Turner had called first, and Coach Anderson had called second. I thought, okay, I'll give Coach Turner a call back. You know, a little loyalty, got to call Coach Turner first. So I call Coach Turner, and he says, hey, Bryson, I just got off the phone with Coach Anderson. He said he's got some good news for you. He needs you to call him. So I was like, okay, I'll hop on the phone. So I get on the phone with Coach Anderson, and we're driving, and I remember it was raining really hard in the car, so it was kind of hard to hear. So I had my headphones on. I was listening to Coach Anderson, and he said, well, we have an offer for you if you want to be a Horned Frog. And I remember it was the greatest feeling in the world to get that Horned Frog offer. I was so excited. And I said, well, Coach, I'm going to keep that in consideration. I knew I wanted to commit. I knew I was going to be a Horned Frog, but I just wanted to make sure I could commit when I included my whole family. I wanted my whole family to be there when I committed, so they felt like they were part of it. And so when we got home that night, I called Coach Anderson and said, Coach, I'm a Horned Frog, that's it. And he said, well, we'd love to have you.
Long time, and we've had a lot of good players, but I'm not sure that I've had one at his level of athleticism, you know, his athletic ability, but to be the kind of kid he is. This, you know, a kid that's ranked number 2 in his class and has 104 average, and he probably works as hard studying for physics and chemistry and English and social studies as he does on his squat and bench. And that's, I mean, that's, you can hear that said a lot, but it's the truth. He works very, very hard at just about everything he does, and his leadership skills, we teased, we laughed a lot in our coach's office when, you know, when Bryson spoke, people listened, and coaches included, you know, because they knew that it was coming from the heart and that it meant something. And when I like to tell the story, we had a kid come out to practice one day. It was a half pad practice, and our receivers came running out in full pads and looked at him and said, "What, you know, what are you doing?" You know, and it's half pads, and he kind of ducked his head and said, "Bryson told us to be in full pads." Okay. So that just tells you, man, it wasn't no fussing, there wasn't a whole lot of griping. He did what he was told, and that tells you what kind of leadership Bryson had, you know, in that locker room. And he's the only, since I've been doing this, he's the only underclassman to be elected captain. He was elected captain, and it wasn't unanimous, but it was darn close as a junior. And so that just speaks of his leadership abilities on top of his classroom abilities and his, you know, study skills, and, you know, the counselors, the teachers, they're all here, and that tells you what kind of kid he is. On top of being 6'5", 240 pound, and running 4'6", and, you know, you don't get those very often. So I'm certainly blessed to have coached him. He's got a great family. You could sit here and go on and on. I hope to have another one like him someday. I don't know that I will, but it'd be nice.
You're obviously pretty close with your family, judging by the turnout here today. How important was that for you to be able to stay close to home?
I mean, that was awesome, because being from a small town where everybody knows everybody and families, it's a very family-oriented town. It's nice to be able to be so close to home. That was pretty important.
When you guys decided as a family, what was the excitement like in the house?
It may be the single craziest night we've ever had in our household. There was a range of emotions, from excitement to amazement to just joy from wall to wall. I mean, everybody was so excited. I don't know if I slept very much that night, but it was one of the greatest days of my life.
So you're leaving Springtown in a little less than a month. You're going to be a college student. Has that hit you yet?
It has, and I think this morning really opened my eyes that my days are numbered here at Springtown High School, and I think this morning really opened it up a little more, but I've thought about it.
As coaches noticed that y'all had something pretty special.
Well, you know, as a younger kid in middle school, he was a quarterback. He was athletic, but he was kind of awkward and tall and lanky, and, you know, and he broke his arm or wrist in you know, in middle school, and we knew we had something, we just didn't really know exactly what. And his freshman year, he played offense and defense, and we figured out pretty quick. I think he got moved up during his freshman year to varsity to play some defensive end, and we figured out, I mean, anytime you have a freshman come up and play varsity at the we were 4A at the time, and so that tells you, you know, something right there that he could function. And the thing about Bryson, you know, you could, whatever he did, if you changed anything or changed his position or made adjustments, you just had to tell him once. You know, he had it, and most of the time he probably knew it better than the guy telling him. You know, and so we just could focus in on his physical, you know, whatever his skills were physically and doing those things, because mentally, whatever you told him, he was going to do. And so I think after his freshman year, when he came up, I think we knew. And then all of a sudden, I was talking to his dad earlier. I think it was either between his sophomore and junior. I think it was right before his junior year. He really grew. I mean, just the weight came on. He wasn't a tall, skinny kid anymore. He was a grown man. I mean, he was 230 pounds or whatever, and squatting, you know, close to 500 pounds, and he never lost his athleticism. He went to regionals in both hurdle events. That's pretty good for, you know, to see at regional track meet. You got all these little hurdlers, and then all of a sudden there's Bryson. You know, he looks like Elf in the movie, the big giant guy standing there with all those little bitty hurdlers, and you know, he runs 14-something high hurdle and a sub-40 intermediate hurdle, and I think that helped him. Certainly got TCU's attention.
Reflect a little bit about your career here at Springtown and the help from the coaches and the faculty and your fellow students.
I mean, everything that I've done is because of the coaches and the faculty here. I mean, I'm where I am today because of the coaches. We have a great coaching staff here, Coach Turner and all the assistants here that help him out and everything. They've done a great job through season preparation, pregame, our off-season program, and in our summer workouts. They do a wonderful job here of allowing you to be as good as you want to be. If you just got to take advantage of it. And then with my teachers, they do. I mean, the teachers here at Springtown High School they're world class. I couldn't ask for a better set of teachers all 4 years to further myself in my academics. So yes, and I love Springtown High School. I'm always going to be a Porcupine, but I'm excited to be a Horned Frog.
Well, how excited are you to have the chance to go watch him play so close to home?
I think that's probably one of the best things, and Coach Anderson has been he recruited me when I was in East Texas, and now he's back here, so I've known him for a long time, and I've never had a kid go to TCU, and what Coach Patterson has done at that place. And I grew up in Weatherford, so I've been around TCU my whole life. I used to go to the games, and there was a long time that they weren't very good. And so what Coach Patterson has done there and has stayed there, you know, that speaks for him and his staff and his program. And I don't know that Bryson could play for a better university and a better man, you know, what he's done there. So the fact that it's 30 miles down the road, you know, is awesome for me, because there's a lot of guys that I've sent off to play that I never got to, you know, to go and see play. I might have seen him on TV or, you know, read about him in the paper, but I'll be able to see him play, and I think that's pretty neat. Hopefully it'll mean something to him, but I know it'll mean something to me. So,
what is the one message that you want to give to TCU fans about the type of work ethic you have, what you're going to do when you get to TCU, and what kind of player you'll be on and off the field?
Like I tell everyone who asks me, hey, how'd you do it? Hard work will cure all inequalities. There's always going to be people that are more naturally gifted than you, but if you work harder, both in the classroom and on the field and off the field, you're going to end up being not only a better football player and student, but you're going to be the better man and the better husband and the better son to your family.